Yes, yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked. Yes. We are back inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. Of course, I'm your man, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? Another Saturday morning. And it almost feels like September for real. With all the sports coming on except for college football. But other than that,
there's college football.
It's
not the ones you want.
Right. But yeah, so that's why I don't feel all the way. But yeah, man, it's another Saturday morning here in the three-point conversion sports lounge. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. But we're here to provide, I guess, entertainment and news and all of that good stuff. And like I said, I'm Mr. Controversy. And, of course, I'm not doing this by myself. As you heard earlier, I got my guy, the one that handles all the business behind the scenes, my man G. What up, G?
Yo.
And then I got my road dog, my partner in crime, co-host D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, chilling. I'm good. How about yourself, brother?
We good, man. We keeping our spirits up high and everything, man. So everything's good.
I do feel like September too.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like that. I know we got 4 days, or 5 days before the first NFL game, so I'm kind of easing in, But hey, like I said, with basketball, and that's the weird part. The basketball is revving up, but it don't feel like it should be in September. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. I mean, hey, we missed sports for 3 or 4 months, 3 months, I think. So hey man, it's we need it. But we have a great show for you all. Man, we are talking about the NFL, of course. We're talking about start of the seasons, giving our predictions, all of that good stuff. Like I said, I don't think we've talked about it enough. Not we as in the three-point conversion, but I mean just as a whole. I think our focus has been on basketball, of course.
We don't have the motor skills for what's going on right now because I think people are looking at football like the preseason's about to start.
Right, because that's what we're used to. We're used to watching the preseason. But
it's game time, baby.
Yeah, it's right. It's crazy. But also, yeah, we're talking NFL. Also, we will talk NBA playoffs. They're getting very interesting. There's a lot of storylines now. And we'll get into that. We'll break down each series that's going on so far. And then we have a special guest. We have special guests. We have Miss Karita Parks, the three-point conversion insider, reporter, writer, who covers the Washington football team for us. And of course, shout out to her. She also she does a lot. Not just that, but she has Double Takes Sports, I believe. Karita, don't get mad at me if I got that wrong. I think that's it. But yeah, she does that as well. But she will be on to talk Washington football team and their season, everything that's going on with the offseason, what to expect. They just cut AP, so we got to talk about that. So it's a lot to get into with that. Also, for everybody that like football, and the NFL is coming back, everybody's very excited for fantasy football. Yes, fantasy football is here. I believe some of you all had your drafts and everything. We're gonna have Vincent the Fantasy Guru come in, the 3-point conversion fantasy expert. He's gonna come in and talk about fantasy, what you should expect as far as if you got drafts coming up, how you should draft, how should you approach, other questions we got. We might take questions online as well. So he will be in. And then Major League Baseball, we have the 3-point conversion analyst Cortland Griffin coming on, and we're gonna talk Major League Baseball. It's funny because we're only like 3 weeks away from playoffs, right?
Yep.
It's weird. So
it's only 60 games, man.
So they played 60 games, and some teams played 10.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals. And no, I think the Marlins played like 5 or 15. But
4.5.
Yeah,
4.5. It got rained out.
Right, but either or, we got Stop It. What's on our mind? Quick hits. So make sure you let your family and friends know they can listen to the show live on 1100 AM locally, on the real locally on the radio, and then we're on Facebook Live. What up? What up? What up? I see y'all. Hope y'all see me. Also, we're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and just go to www.1100 The Real. You'll see us on there. All right?
And the Real 1100 app.
And the Real 1100 app.
If y'all watch on Facebook Live, that's the poster right behind him. But
okay, good. All right. So it is time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sneak beats. So, first off, Barcelona star Lionel Messi has decided to stay. You remember all this talk about him leaving, but he decided to stay with the team after initially attempting to leave this summer. Like I said, it was based on a contract clause and everything, but Messi and his legal team believed that he had exercised a clause that enabled him to leave without financial penalty at the end of each season. Barcelona stated that the exit clause expired on June 10th, even though the season did not end until August 25th due to COVID-19. What do you think about all this, D? Because they said, I think he wanted to leave. His next club would have to pay him like $700 million release clause. And
700 million euros.
Oh, euro. Okay, euros. My bad.
Which is actually it's like $830 million.
That's crazy. So even better.
So first off, I want to say I ain't playing basketball. I'm playing soccer.
Right.
I'm playing soccer. See, everybody out here thinking baseball. No, play soccer. Less injuries, all that. But second off, I think he need to fire his legal team.
Yeah, man.
The reason I say that because now the secret's out the bag, right? Because I think he said something about the president. Like, the secret's out the bag now. Like, it's not when you leave and, you got to go play here again and try to leave next year.
Right.
Like, you've muddied the waters. The relationship is bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
and now you got to go back and play for them?
Yeah, so I wonder how that's going to be. That's the business of sports. Sucks, but
I guess he's going to opt out next year.
Right. I know, right? He's going to opt out. Move it on. Dallas Cowboys defensive end can't get right. Randy Gregory was conditionally reinstated by the NFL. He can now report to the team for the 8th straight year. He got to go through COVID testing and then began practicing with the team the week of October 5th and participate in game starting in week 7 and then get suspended again. Gregory missed the entire 2019 season on a indefinite suspension for multiple violations of the league's substance abuse policy dating to his rookie year in 2015. Let's not forget Josh Gordon is applying for reinstatement because he's been signed by the Seattle Seahawks. I guess they go to the same place, drug policy place. Or, I don't know, man. How are they getting reinstated, bruh?
They stay clean for the time being.
I don't get
Pass
it.
the test.
Cause look,
That's it.
my thing is, I ain't even gonna bring up. We gonna leave Cap alone. We already know the situation with that, but still, like, I don't know. I just don't get how this keeps happening. But he gets reinstated. Is it because of the people they play for? You think Jerry has something to do with that?
Well, I know that.
I think it's because drugs isn't looked at the same way it had been looked at previously.
That is true.
Even still, Doc Gooden and
Strawberry
was able to still come back and play. They look at, you look at drugs as it's an addiction. It's something that you can get over, but it's still an everyday battle. It's like alcoholism, right? Like, no, I don't. No, I'm not a drug addict. No, I don't do drugs, but I'm a drug addict every day. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's how they looking at it. Like, yeah, you can get clean, and there's a possibility you will relapse. But if you relapse, we don't want to kick you out of society.
I think that's more how Dallas is approaching it, because they tried to give Randy Gregory an extension, and the NFL was like, no, he's still suspended. You can't give him a new contract.
Yeah.
So it's like they really believe in him.
Right.
So they're going to do everything they can to help him.
Right. Moving on, the Football Oversight Committee on Thursday agreed to recommend the Division I Council a spring season model for conferences that push their seasons to the spring of 2021. It includes 15 practices in 29 days and an 8-game season that must end by April 17th. However, there is no support for mid-year enrollees, transfers, or incoming freshmen to participate in games during the spring semester. That's worse than, that seemed more weird than this. Football in the spring?
Yeah.
Like, they messing me up, dog. Okay, so let's be real. Well, I guess no, not really, because that was time when basketball be on anyway, so I guess it's cool. But still, on Saturdays in the spring, that was my time to, me and my wife go out, all of that. This time right here is dedicated to, okay, baby, I'm watching games this weekend. Oh, it's a big game. Alabama playing this or whatever. But now y'all talking about the spring, so I got to get in the argument, get in the doghouse for this? Some BS. What's your take, D, on this? How you feel about this?
It's going to be a lot of football, because right after that, football will have to start right back up for them, right? Like,
probably.
The games will end by the 19th. Because that's usually, during that springtime, is usually spring practice, right?
Right.
Right. So, yeah, that's going to be a very short offseason for them, right? And then they're just going to leave the freshmen out there. So what the freshmen going to do? Can they practice with them?
I don't
they
know.
Just can't play?
If they enroll, because that's the popular thing now, that high school players are graduating in December and enrolling in school in January.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't look like they're going to be able to just go out there and play that spring semester, but they probably can practice, which they've already been doing.
Right.
And then there's the draft, and I think the supplemental draft's going to get a lot more attention than the NFL draft because of this spring semester.
Right. So, like I said, it's I don't know, bro. It's that's just seemed weird, man. Moving on, in order to account for student athletes who will have to miss games because of positive coronavirus tests, contact tracing, and regular injuries, the Big 12 announced the teams will, with at least 53 players available, this is crazy, including 7 offensive linemen, 4 interior defensive linemen, and 1 quarterback, must play or it will be considered a forfeit. That's crazy. If teams have fewer than 53 players available and don't meet the position benchmarks, the game will be declared a no contest if it can't be moved to a later date. Teams that fall below 53 players but are still able to meet the position benchmarks have the option to play the game. So basically, I would just tell if we over the 53, hey, bro, you better act like you twisted your ankle. I'm just gonna lie. I don't want to play. Like, that don't make sense to me, man. That's weird.
And look, we should see a lot. I'm surprised I'm not seeing. We saw Jamar Chase opt out. He has no reason to play right now, even if yeah. And I'm surprised that Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence haven't opted out. Like, what are we? Well, Justin Fields can't play, but Trevor Lawrence hasn't opted out. Like, what are we doing?
What is happening here?
Like, what? What is the point?
Yeah.
What is happening here? Did y'all see what they just said? You're gonna have to forfeit the game or no contest. Like, seriously?
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Somebody get sick?
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Don't play football.
Yeah, just worry about everybody's health. And last but not least, I kind of want to give a stopper to this. But after 47-year-old Oscar De La Hoya announced that he was coming out of retirement, an opponent has emerged for a possible exhibition fight. 58-year-old, please get it ready. 58-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez. This dude.
Stop it.
Thank you. I thought he was 68, but he's a 3-time world champion whose last professional fight came in 2005, 15 years ago. So they fought twice before. De La Hoya winning both fights, 96 and 98.
Didn't his son retire?
Right.
I think his son is retired, yo.
So, all right, man. We're just going to leave it at that. That concludes our quick hits. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the hot topic, talking NFL football, baby. Keep it locked.
Hey, folks. Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right. You can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, The Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
This is Steve Atwater with the Denver Broncos, and you're listening to The 3-Point Conversion. The 3-Point Conversion. The 3-Point Conversion. The 3-Point Conversion.
Get ready. From the oven to your ears, it's now time for the hot topic.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I am a host, Mr. Controversy, with my guy, D Intellectual.
What up?
All right, it's time for the hot topic, which is the NFL season, man. All right, y'all. It's here. First, 1 to 10. D, where's your level of excitement at?
I'm excited. I'm probably at about a 7, though, because there hasn't been no preseason games.
Right. I told y'all.
It seems weird that it's just going to be here Thursday.
Yeah, it's real weird, man, because, like I said, the no preseason game, it don't get you hadn't got hyped about it. Mm-hmm. What we can't base anything, before I think about it, I know G hate preseason, but think about it, beforehand, it was always, hey, the Dolphins look nice,
mm-hmm.
or the Kansas City Chiefs, that running back, the rookie, Clyde Allaire, that dude he like a beast. We don't have that. We don't have anything to go by. So, and then with the NBA being like it has been, come on, like, when do you have time to talk about football when you watching playoffs now in the NBA, if you're a basketball fan?
And everything else that's going on in society.
Right. So that's why that's why I say that I'm like a 6 right now. I mean, I've had, virtual fantasy football drafts, so that helped me out. You know what I'm saying? That got me into it. But for the most part, I'm not there, man, like I want to be. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Probably by Wednesday, I'll probably be there. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, my question is, we're in Atlanta. We got to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Do you expect them to do anything like big? Do you expect them to make the playoffs? You see, they got Hayden Hurst. They have Todd Gurley. I think Julio's been practicing, so you don't expect them to do anything.
No, they'll end up third in their division. I mean, you got Tampa Bay and New Orleans, which we know what they expect from them, double-digit wins. Falcons hasn't really done anything to upgrade their team.
They got Todd Gurley. What you mean? They got Todd Gurley. That's they got to run a game.
We got to see.
I mean, cause
you got to see if you got to run a game.
Because
Todd Gurley hasn't been himself. Is his knee gonna hold up?
Right. I mean, and the thing is, okay, we talk about Todd Gurley. He only had like 800 yards last year, right?
Yeah.
But he had how many touchdowns he had? Like,
I feel like he had like 7.
7 or 8. That's still a boost from what they got from last year.
Yeah, but it didn't impact the game. And then, you know what I'm saying? Other things going on within the game. The Rams still ended up horrible, right? What, 7-9?
But that's the Rams. The Rams don't have
the Rams were 9-7.
Yeah, and they don't
9-7.
They don't have a Julio Jones. They don't have a Calvin Ridley.
So what you expect him to be?
He had 12 touchdowns last year.
So what you expect him to be?
I don't know. So if you first of all, you said no. You still don't. You don't think they're going to do anything. I'm gonna ask G for G. What do you expect from the Falcons?
I think they'll score a lot of points. I think their offense is potent enough to where, of course, you have Julio and Hurst and Ridley. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I'm concerned about the defense as far as can they generate a pass rush, which I feel like they haven't since they had John Abraham at best. So I think they might end up giving up a lot of points because they're going to be exposing their defensive, their DBs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there might be nice to watch, if you like offense, but they might end up being in an 8-18,
right? Because
they can't stop anybody.
That's the problem, and yeah, they lost. They lost. I'm not gonna say a lot, but as you mentioned, they lost a linebacker. Campbell. They lost. Who was everybody called him a bust?
Beasley.
I
mean, they brought in Dante Fowler.
Yeah, and I like that pickup. But is it enough? Can they stay healthy?
Expecting McKinley to. And
they've been expecting McKinley to be better for the last 2 seasons.
AJ Terrell looks like he'll be a good corner.
Mm-hmm. So we'll
but
see.
But having to deal with the other quarterbacks in the division, you got to get to the quarterback.
You got to get to, and that's the biggest thing. They got to get to the quarterback. But now, if Gurley is 70%, and the good thing about Gurley is, and they usually have the same blocking scheme. If they just weigh down on that defense, where now you can have a second and 3 now because Gurley's got you 7 yards, or the threat of Gurley now play action might work, And
it worked for the Rams,
huh?
I said that's the Rams offense.
Yeah, that's what they did. So and then we always see the Falcons struggle when they get to the goal line. You know what I'm saying? Julio don't get the touchdown. Once they get in the red zone with Gurley, he's automatic. 12 touchdowns on a bum knee, as D stated. So, I don't know, man. I think Falcons usually, they don't stay down for that long. In this division, it's usually somebody always up for each other. So, it might be interesting. I mean, I got them. I think they win 9 games.
They're going to win 5 to 7 games, yo.
I think they win 9 games.
If they win 9, do you think they get into the playoffs with 9?
No.
Did you see their schedule? So they going to beat the Panthers probably twice, right?
But I know they schedule tough, but you know how I'm not even going to go by that right now anyway, because we don't know everybody dealing with this situation. So
Man, they're going to win 5 to 7 games.
All right, so D got to win 5 to 7. Like I said, I think they win 9. They won 8 last year, and they pretty much a better team. So I think they win 9. Now, let's get to the good stuff. What is your surprise team? Do you have a surprise team? D, do you have a surprise team?
Yeah, my surprise team going to be Denver.
Okay.
I think Denver's going to surprise some people. We know they're in a tough, division with Kansas City. But, what do you expect out of Las Vegas? What's going to happen with Los Angeles Chargers? You know what I mean?
So do you think Denver has a quarterback? Do you think they found their quarterback finally?
I kind of like him, man. I kind of like him.
I like Locke.
Yeah, I like Locke. I like him, and I want to give him an opportunity. If he can, and so he don't have to always put up 300 yards and 4 like if he go out there and 250, 275, couple touchdowns, no turnovers, things like that, man, they'll be decent. They went 7-9 last year.
They've been trying to find a quarterback for 5 years.
But I like Locke.
Yeah, they went 7-9 last year. If they could turn that to 9-7, they battling with Tennessee for the wild card spot.
But why do you think they're going to be a surprise team, though? What leads you?
Because nobody expecting nothing out of them. Nobody expecting nothing out of Locke. I think it's another year that Fangio got a hold of the defense. They definitely going to be strong, and I think Locke going to make that transition.
Well, I'm going to tell you, so this is why I kind of agree with that, G. And the fact that you got 2 running backs now. I mean, they always had 2 running backs, but you got really 3, but you got the 2. I don't know how they're going to do this with Lindsey and then Melvin Gordon. I wonder how they're going to share the rock, but for the most part, Melvin Gordon is not that guy like you got to keep giving him touches. He's explosive, and Lindsey's not that guy, so that can work. The biggest, I think Jerry Jeudy will help that team with Locke. Locke has a strong arm. You got Courtland Sutton. I think having Jeudy on the other end, I think he's going to have a breakout season.
And Noah Fant is expected to be.
And everybody expects Fant's going to be good. Right. So I can see that. And if the defense, the thing is, the defense need to get back to what they were. They got all them pass rushers. If they can get back to that, Von Miller can get back to double-digit sacks, then you're right, Denver could be a problem. G, you have a surprise team?
Mine is the no, I really don't have one.
What team was you gonna say? Cause say it.
No, I really don't have one that's. I mean, maybe Arizona. Mm-hmm. If they had Kenyon Drake for the whole season, are they closer to being a playoff team? And now you add in DeAndre Hopkins, and how much of a step can Kyler Murray take? Because he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had a good rookie season, but do people believe in him yet? Do people believe that he can be a good quarterback in this league?
But he had a very good rookie
I know,
season.
but it's like there's not a lot of like hype behind him like there may have been previously with someone like Baker Mayfield or Andrew Luck or even Sam Darnold. I think that Kyler Murray is flying under the radar still. Right.
But I think that Kyler Murray had better rookie seasons than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Not Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck took his team to the playoffs. But for the most part, Kyler Murray, because everything slows down. But what rookie quarterback going to their sophomore year besides a Peyton Manning, Get Lucky, and an Andrew Luck. But I don't think Wayne was all the way there yet. I think Wayne was kind of declining a little bit. But Get Lucky and have that wide receiver that's like bona fide top 3 or top 5 at least. We'll say that. And he gets that with the, he had what's my name? What's the guy's
Fitzgerald.
name? He had Fitzgerald, but now you add in a DeAndre Hopkins, still in his prime. They still got Christian Kirk, like you talked about. Drake.
Yeah, that's why. Like,
yeah,
they're the closest to a surprise team to me.
Right.
I think I don't think there's a lot of. I don't know if people believe in Kyler Murray yet.
Right. I do. I like him. I think he's going to take that next step. And then the defense is good. They just drafted Isaiah Simmons.
Yep.
Who's going to be good. So I like this team. They built up the offensive line in the draft. I'm with you, G. I agree with that. That was one of my teams. The other team I have you all is, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to surprise people, man. I really hope Tua is ready to play and they let him play. Fitzpatrick, he's a starter for the most part. He's going to start.
I feel it's what they should do because we see it with Fitzpatrick every year. He'll give you 2 great games.
Yep.
After those 2 great games, start Tua. I don't care if you won both games. Nope, start Tua week 3.
Right, right.
Because that third game,
yeah, he's gonna flatten out. He's gonna flatten out. But they got a lot of young guys like Devontae Parker came out, out of nowhere. Well, he was always good. I feel like he didn't have that quarterback, but he stepped up. They got this young guy named Preston Wilson. Preston Williams. That he was that he had got in trouble in college, but now they got him and he did very good last year. Big possession receiver. They got Jordan Howard now. They got Matt Breida. And if I'm saying his name correct, Gesicki, I like him, the tight end. Yeah, and of course, and we like the coach, Brian. I like Flores. I like him. We rooting for the brother. The way he had him playing at the end of the season last year, if that could transfer to this year and they have the confidence, and then like I stated, if Tua gets in and he plays, I would say this real quick. Tua reminds me of Anthony Davis, because Tua get hurt for like a game or 2 or a quarter or something, he'll still play, but he always, but if he can stay healthy, I'm telling you, man, this team might be. So that is my sleeper teams. Some people in the chat says Cleveland Browns. Derek Brent says Cleveland Browns. He got them. I stopped picking them, man, because I say that every year, and they just disappoint me. They got all the. I know they have a new coach, so that might be it, but. I
got to see it to believe
they got all the talent in the world. Real quick.
Indianapolis Colts.
Right. So, real quick, I'm going to ask y'all. So, who y'all have winning the NFC East?
I got to go with Dallas. And I think it's going to be because of the defense. I don't know. Get all the babysitters you need for Aldon Smith and Randy Gregory, but also having DeMarcus Lawrence and Everson Griffin. You can never have too many pass rushers. I know that's a lot to ask for, but I think they can get that together. I think the defense is going to have a big impact for them this year.
All right, who do you have?
Dallas. You can't trust. Unfortunately, I like Carson Wentz, but I can't trust him, man.
I think I feel you, but I think my thing is with Dallas has the most talent, and they should be. But Philly, man, who I do trust is the coach, the head coach. So
and they didn't get no receivers, didn't they?
They don't never have receivers.
One day receivers,
and they won. They won the division last year.
Was injured too, right?
Yeah, right. Outshine. Always.
Now another one, the rookie, I think, got a
in
his shoulder.
So who? Okay.
Oh, Rager.
So NFC North.
The Bears.
the Packers won it last year, so I just go off of that.
It was a fluky. That was a fluky 13-3, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be biased too. I'm gonna go Chicago. It's Chicago. I think Minnesota.
They're gonna digress, man.
Yeah, they regress. So, all right. So NFC South.
Regress, my bad.
I'm going with the Saints.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I got the Saints too. All right, and NFC West.
Seattle. I think that San Francisco
Seattle
will come down. So.
Yeah, I think the 49ers take a step back. They might still make the playoffs, but I think Seattle wins the division.
I think San Francisco. I think their defense is still too much. All right, real quick, AFC East, who y'all have?
I actually think New England still gonna win. I think Cam gonna have a monster year.
Yep.
I think Buffalo comes this year and takes over. I think New England still wins their 10, 11 games, but I think Buffalo's gonna do well.
I think Cam gonna have a monster year.
But they don't have no defense because everybody opted out. All their linebackers opted out. So, but eight New England players.
Their defense opt out.
Yep, basically. All right, so AFC North.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I got Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore dropped down. I got Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore just shocked everybody. I think they're going to be good. I think they're making the playoffs. Then they win 10 games or 11, but I think Pittsburgh. AFC South.
Texans.
That's a good.
I'm going to jump out the boat. Indianapolis.
I say Tennessee. And then AFC West.
Chiefs.
Come on, man. Do we have to answer that?
Okay. All right, I'm just saying. All right, so what we'll do later on the show, we're going to give our Super Bowl picks. But, all right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back to talk more football. Don't go anywhere.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Yo, this is Champ Bailey, 2019 Pro Football Hall of Famer. I just want to give a shout out to my boys at 3 Point Conversion Radio. There it is.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And we're going to stick with football, the NFL. And we have a special guest who has been long overdue coming on. But this young lady covers the Washington football team for the 3 Point Conversion also. And she, you can also follow her at The Real Carita Parks. I'm sorry, at Carita C Parks. I apologize. And that's CARITACPARKS. And at DBL Takes Sports. Miss Carita, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're good over here. I guess we're getting excited as we speak about the NFL. So we're there. We're getting there.
It's coming.
I know, right?
A couple of days now.
I know, right? But I have to ask you, man, this has been a crazy off season. Like one team, I said this months ago. I said one team that probably couldn't wait for the NFL season start was the Washington football team.
Right.
And they're like, thank you, Jesus, we're here. So my question is, do you think that everything that transpired in the offseason, all of the bad publicity and everything, does that trickle down and affect the players on the field, or do you think the players will rise above that just because now, hey, we could play football, we could just focus on playing football?
I actually think that they will rise above it. I mean, to your point, I think they are ready to just play football, especially this year with COVID, because there was that chance that they wouldn't even possibly play football. So at this point, I think they're just ready to compete and focus on getting some wins and just, like you said, moving on from all of the drama. And truthfully, once they get on that field, that's what everybody's going to focus on, is what they're doing on the field. So it will take some of the spotlight off of all the bad publicity that they've been getting.
All right. And real quick, go ahead, D. Go ahead and give that announcement. You got the particulars on it?
Yeah. Deshaun Washington signed a $160 million 4-year extension with $111 guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney just fired his agent, too.
Yeah.
Said he saw that. All right, go ahead, D.
All right, Coach Rivera recently named Haskins the starting quarterback for the season. Do you think he's capable of taking that next step and being a leader of the team and the team following him and everything?
I absolutely do. I think the team believed in Haskins for a very long time. Unfortunately, last season, he didn't really have a coaching staff that was supporting him, nor were they really committed to him. They stayed non-committal all last season. It wasn't until they were backed into a corner that they would put Haskins on the field. Either Colt McCoy got hurt or Case Keenum got hurt, and then that's when they put him on the field. And in practice, he wasn't necessarily taking a lot of snaps with the starters last year. This year, he's coming into the situation. He had a pretty good idea that he would be the starting quarterback, but, like you said, Ron Rivera just named him officially the starting quarterback. But I think this is the moment that he's been waiting for. Like, this is the opportunity for him to prove himself and show that he really can be a leader. In the off season, he was working out quite a bit. He lost almost 19 pounds. He seems to be coming into this year knowing more of what to expect. I think he learned a lot last year. I think he saw where he needs to improve, and I think we're going to see a much better Haskins, especially because a good coaching staff will highlight the strengths of their players, and I think that's what we're going to see.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Not just that. I went back and I looked at his interceptions. One of the games he played, I think 2 interceptions went to Vernon Davis, or one went to Vernon Davis and the one went to the wide receiver. Neither one of them was his fault. Like, he put the ball where it should have been. Vernon Davis didn't go for the ball or didn't make a play. Like, all his interceptions, I think they look at them too much as opposed to what they really were.
Right, because, every game, and I will say this, every game that he played in, once he was able to play more consistently, which was towards the end of last season, he improved every single game. In his last 3 games last year, he was he had a 58.1 quarterback rating or something like that, and 5 touchdowns. So if he could carry that momentum into this year with a staff that is actually committed to making him better, I think he's going to be what a lot of people are trying to say he's not.
Right. So, some more news that was shocking. Man, this blindsided me. I couldn't believe this. But the Washington football team, they cut Hall of Famer Adrian Peterson. Now, it's not the fact people might look at his age and he's older and they can't. I mean, he had a very productive year last year with a bad team. But the fact that they let go of Geis, so you don't really have a lot of experience running backs behind them. So my question to you is: were you shocked? And who does Washington look to as a running back now?
I was definitely shocked with Darius Geis being cut. I actually thought that locked Adrian Peterson down even more, but as the cuts are coming out today, I'm noticing a lot of those Jay Gruden pickups are getting cut. I think Ron Rivera took the time to evaluate them, but at this point, I think he's trying to build his own team. And when he released Adrian Peterson, one of the things he said is that he wants to have more multi-dimensional running backs on the team. He feels like if Adrian Peterson comes out, even though he's extremely talented, people are going to automatically know like what the play is because he's more of a power runner, and everybody knows that, even though he's productive. So it sounds like Ron Rivera wants the ability to keep other teams guessing with the running backs that he kept. Now, who are they going to look at? I mean, Antonio Gibson seems like a guy that they're really trying to fold into the running back position. And when he was drafted, they compared him to a Christian McCaffrey. And we know what Ron Rivera did with Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. Like, it's still yet to be seen if that pans out with Antonio Gibson. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of him as the season unfolds. I also think we're going to see Peyton Barber a lot in the beginning. They seem to like what he could do in the run game, but also as a pass catcher. And then as the season goes on, I believe Bryce Love will be more of a focal point. But just from what I've heard of how he performed in training camp and just coming off that injury and not having played for a long time, I think it's just taking him a little bit more time to get into the fold. But I think the focal point will eventually be on Bryce Love and Antonio Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, what's your prediction of Washington this season?
Whew, yeah. Well, I think not having a preseason really is going to have an impact because they're going to have to come together in the game day situation, which obviously isn't ideal. I mean, they have a new staff and a lot of new pieces in place. So as far as record, I think this season we'll see them maybe at 5-11 or 6-10, something like that. Just because I think those first couple of games it's going to take some time for them to really get into their groove. And they come out the gate playing the Eagles, which might not be as difficult as I was first thinking because of some of the injuries that have come up since training camp. But then they play the Browns, Cardinals, Ravens, and Rams like in the first few weeks. So I think that those are some tough matchups, and they'll still be trying to find their rhythm. So I think we'll see like kind of mid-season them come together. So that's why I'm going with like a 5-11 or a 6-10.
Well, all right. There you have it. Miss Karita Parks, the three-point conversion analyst, reporter, insider for the Washington football team. And you can follow her at Karita C. Parks and at Double Take Sports, which is spelled DBLTAKESPORTS. All right, Miss Karita, thank you so much, Karita. We will definitely have you throughout the season to give us some reports.
Yes, and, I would love to be back. It's about time I'm on.
Yeah, it is. You know, some people finally wake up. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. All right.
All right, thank you.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Yo, what's up? It's Allen Robinson, wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, and you're here with the 3-point conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. All right. Fantasy football is here, y'all, because the NFL is about to start next week. And, of course, you know we had to bring in the 3-point conversion fantasy expert, Mr. Vincent, the fantasy guru. What's going on, Vince?
What's going on, Mr. Controversy? What's up, G? What's up, D? How y'all fellas doing this morning?
All right. How about
good,
you?
Man?
Hey, good, man. It's that time of the year, baby. It's that time of the year.
Yes, sir. And I definitely want to ask you, man, because of what's been going on, the pandemic, no preseason. We don't know how the players going to respond. We don't know what's going on. But it's like this draft is different because, I mean, it's deep in a lot of areas. How do you approach this draft?
Well, depending on the rules, my go-to is you want to start getting your running backs first. You want to get your good all three down running backs, which is not that many now these days in football. A lot of people are splitting carries, but you definitely want to get your running backs first. This particular season is wide receiver heavy. A lot of good wide receivers out there, so I wouldn't really rush on getting wide receivers so early. I say get your running backs first. You'll be able to get some good wide receivers, going towards the later ends of the early rounds of the draft. I always say be patient at quarterback. That's one thing as well. Of course, the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes are always going like around the second round. But after that, a lot of the quarterbacks between like the Dak Prescotts, the Kyler Murrays, the Drew Breeses, all those guys can contribute the same. So, if you can't get those two, then definitely wait because you'll be definitely happy with somebody like Dak Prescott at your quarterback. Wait for kickers, wait for team defenses. There's, even though I always say, and I tell Mr. Controversy all the time because he's in a lot of drafts with me, kickers win fantasy championships, which is true. But you can wait on those kickers. You can wait on team defenses. And now, and particularly this year with the preseason issues, I feel more comfortable grabbing players who already have a certain kind of chemistry with their quarterbacks already. I'm not that. I questioned a lot of the new guys in the new places dealing with these new quarterbacks because I'm always about chemistry. So if you get the Tyreek Hills, if you get the Julio Joneses, the Amari Coopers, the Allen Robinsons, and stuff like that, then I feel more secure than getting Hopkins or Diggs. So, and then just always pay attention to the bye weeks when you draft your players, and also pay attention to the draft board and see what people are picking. So make sure that you're getting players before the other player may have that need of getting. So those are my top, definitely my top 5 to focus on.
Just a question to kind of piggyback on that, because you said wait on defenses. I know some people don't even pick defenses. Are you a fan of that?
No, wait. No, wait, get it right. No, you don't pick defenses, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I don't pick defense because what I actually
defense picks you. What is that?
What I tend to do is every week some defense is going to have a favorable matchup. You see what I'm saying? And it always works for me. Have you ever looked at it that way or thought about that? I know you're the guru, so.
Yeah, no, not really. I don't. Matchups. When it comes to defenses, you always want to pay attention to that. But depending on the scoring, and that's why I say you always want to make sure you look at the rules first. Now, of course, if it's a defense heavy, a sack is like 10 points, and interception is 20. Of course, I'm going to focus on getting a real good defense. Possibly early, but not that early. But if it's just your standard scoring on defenses. I mean, there's so many, decent defenses out there outside of the Steelers, outside of the Bills. The Patriots lost a lot of people, so they're kind of dropping down. But, you have good defense like the Colts this year. The Colts are good defense. They're going the end of the 15th, 16th round in drafts. They're good defense. The Chargers are good defense. So, I say just wait on that. You don't have to go so high in getting a defense. Not this season.
Right, absolutely.
And especially without fans being out in the stands, that's going to be a big key in fantasy this year. Fans, bring out the extra energy for these teams, especially, when you're dealing on defenses. They kind of, based off the crowd. So now when you're not having any fans, and I know some teams may have couple thousand there too, but still, the energy is going to be, I can't see the energy being high, just being out there just playing.
Right.
To me, it's going to be more like a practice type of atmosphere. So the hypeness of the defense is going to take a little dive.
Now, what players do you see making a big jump from last year in fantasy?
Well, as much as I hate to say it because this person is in my division, because I am a true Buffalo Bills fan, but I'm really pulling for Cam Newton, man. I really am. I really hate what happened to him last year, but I'm praying that that he really bounced back and have a monster season. I just don't want him to play good against Buffalo. I mean, that's all. He can have good games against anybody else, but as long as he play bad against my Bills, then I'm happy. But yeah, I definitely see Cam Newton. I'm very happy for him being the captain and everything. I really hope that he does well. I definitely see Cam bouncing back and having a great season. I'm liking if Big Ben stays healthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, the wide receiver, I think that he can have a breakout year. He hurt so many people last year in fantasy. So many people. When Big Ben went down, I just knew. I said, that's going to be Juju's year. And as you see, he struggled with Mason, Randolph, and I don't even know the other quarterback's name. But he struggled without a good quarterback. So if Big Ben stays healthy, Juju's going to have a good bounce-back year. Also, and another person I believe is, let's stick with the Steelers again, James Conner at running back. He had a lot of injuries that played with him last year. And, he has a good, clean bill of health. I can see it. I truly believe in it. If Big Ben stays healthy, I think Pittsburgh is bound to have some great fantasy impact in this season. So Juju, James Conner, Cam Newton, definitely.
All right. And let me ask you this. Are there any players you feel that is getting overblown or has been getting drafted a little too high, like hyped up?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it could just be me, but Jonathan Taylor, the rookie running back, I think he went to Wisconsin if I'm not mistaken, but he's getting drafted like in the third round, like in drafts, and people just forgetting about Marlon Mack. I'm like, the man didn't deserve to lose his job. I mean, I still think he's going to still be penciled in as a starter. And even though I know Coach Frank Reich was like, we're going to see who has the hot hand and so forth, but we all know that even though Jonathan Taylor is a beast of a running back, but he had fumbling issues. So, I say for him being drafted that high and people are passing up guys like, like Melvin Gordon, he's getting picked before guys like Melvin Gordon. And I'm just like, I just don't see it. I'm just not that high on Jonathan Taylor, not going that high in drafts. Also, wide receiver Courtland Sutton, he's going as wide receiver 15 in most drafts, and I just feel like that's a little bit too high. And no disrespect to the quarterback Drew Lock, which I feel like he's going to be a solid number two, or if you have a good number one quarterback, a good bye week replacement, Drew Lock would be a good one. But I just don't see Courtland Sutton being like the man just right now, especially his average draft position going that high. I just think that's a little bit too high for him. And then my last one is Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Like, that who does he have to throw to outside of Devontae Adams?
Me.
Right.
Mr. Controversy.
Right. I think me and Mr. Controversy went up for some tryouts last week just to see if he can.
That's good. I'm glad.
He's going a bit too high. And even this last draft that I was in with a bunch of my friends, and Rodgers went before Russell Wilson. He went before Drew Brees. He went before Tom Brady. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
So, yeah, those three are just way too high in my list.
Okay, and of course, we know you got your sleepers. Who your sleepers this year?
Yeah, I agree with Miss Carlita, what she said earlier about Antonio Gibson. What happened to, unfortunately, of course, what happened to Adrian Peterson. But I do like the fact that Antonio Gibson is moving up on a ladder. I think he's definitely a deep sleeper. And also, I like Henry Ruggs, the rookie wide receiver for and I got to get used to saying this, but the Las Vegas Raiders. But with Tyrell Williams is going to be out for the year with this. I think he has like a torn labrum or something like that. I forgot the actual the injury, but he's going to be sent out the rest of the year. So now now Henry Ruggs comes in, and I really believe that he's going to really have a really good rookie season. Also, I like Chris Herndon as a good sleeper. He's a tight end for the New York Jets. The chemistry that he and Sam Darnold is having, from what I've been reading, the chemistry's been really good. So I definitely see Chris Herndon having a really good year. And then also, let's not forget Matt Stafford at quarterback. I don't know if you would call him a sleeper, but just remember last year, before Matt Stafford got hurt, he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback last year. People were starting him in leagues because he was just so hot last year. So if he stays healthy, he has the receivers, he has the tight ends. I can see definitely him having another great season this year. So those are my sleepers.
Well, all right, there you have it. Vincent, the fantasy guru, always dropping dimes for us. Just real quick, 5 seconds to answer. How many leagues you in this year?
I think I'm down to the high teens this year. I was in 23. I think I was in 23 last year. I think I'm down like to 15, 16. So I'm improving.
See, I'm going up, but that's weak. I'm at 7 this year. So
woo, I got to get you more then.
Right.
I thought last year 2 had me strung out.
Nah.
I had 3 last year, but I thought them 3 had me strung out. Y'all got 26 and 54.
Right, that's crazy. Yeah. All right, man. Well, have a great weekend and be safe. And we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Richmond, and you are listening to 3 Point Conversion, because you clearly have excellent taste.
You're tuned into WWE Hakeville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Big ups to our Sports Lounge crew for keeping the airways blazing each and every Saturday. But I want to send another special shout out to our team of writers at the 3 Point Conversion. You can visit us at the3pointconversion.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. How about the Gram? How about iHeart? How about Spreaker Radio? How about wherever you need it, baby? We got you covered. No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. It's time. I'd like to thank everyone who is listening live and watching live. We definitely appreciate you. And if you're listening to the show as a podcast later on, we appreciate you for supporting the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And I ask you to also support the 3-Point Conversion Sports Media company itself. And we definitely appreciate you. All right, it is now time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you, sir. What is your Stop It for this week?
Yes. My Stop It for this week goes to C. Webb. C. Webb done did some nice things. He, had a heartfelt, speech, the day they did the boycott or whatever. But recently this week, he said that Lou Dort, a boy that played for OKC, he found out he was from, Canada, and he had that horrible shooting day. I think he was 0 for 11, which was kind of like a record or something, or a title record or something like that. He said he should play hockey, and he said rugby. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, why? He literally made it to the NBA. And I know you're saying he's probably because he's from Canada and because of his physical stature, but he literally made it to the NBA and then came back and dropped 30, scored the most points by most points by a younger player, something like that. But yeah, see, Webb, you got to hold his Stop It for saying he should have played hockey or rugby, man.
Stop it.
Hey, man, but you know what? I agree with you. This had nothing to do with that. Everybody be getting on C. Webb time when they don't like him as a commentator. I'm like, I don't know why. He be dropping knowledge.
He's not as bad as Booger McFarland, but.
I mean,
I like Booger, man. I like Booger, man.
too. I mean, Booger do be saying some stuff that's like, all right, bro, yeah, we seen, I get.
He makes me feel smart.
Yeah. But see, Webb be dropping knowledge on basketball, but people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? People don't like to hear the truth, but he be giving the ins and outs, man. Like, I love listening to C. Webb. But all right, my Stop It goes to the NBA, and the reason why. So the NBA allows players. They're allowing players to bring family. Their family comes in. We've seen it this week. Players are allowed. Referees are even allowed to bring a guest. But the coaches aren't allowed to bring anybody in.
Stop it.
That's so funny. And it's disrespectful.
That is bogus. Like, why?
Props to Mike Malone for bringing it up.
Yeah. Because first, when I first heard him, I was about to give him a Stop It. Like, no, don't try to blame that. And then when I heard what he said, I was like, wait, huh? What, huh?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, these players can bring in their family. Okay, wives, kids. I get that part. But some of these players who are stretching the definition of family, trying to pass off certain people as
you
family.
You got to have a relationship. And
they're going to do everything they can to fabricate that relationship.
Right.
Come on, man. It's not right. It's just not right. Okay, my stop. Well, that was one of my stoppers, but I did have another one. It goes to Richard Jefferson and to anybody who uses Scottie Pippen to insult another player. I just think that's not fair. It's wrong.
Right.
Scottie Pippen is a Hall of Fame player, and yes, he was the guy next to Michael Jordan. He's considered the second fiddle, the Robin, the sidekick, whatever. But don't use him as to insult another player, saying that a player, he's only a Pippen. Because Richard Jefferson said this about Giannis, that he's a Pippen that needs a Jordan. And it's one, the comparison is wrong. And two, I've seen Scottie Pippen have his own when he was the leader of a team, when he was the go-to guy. And he was a top 5 MVP candidate. Mm-hmm. But just because for a majority of his career, he was the sidekick to Michael Jordan, that doesn't mean he was still a great player. But I don't like when people try to use it to say that a player isn't a star because, they're just Pippen.
Right.
So I'll give a stop it to anybody who uses Pippen to insult another player because your argument automatically will collapse on itself.
Stop it. Real quick. But you know what? I like how Pippen handled it because Pippen was just like, look, I never did this, but at the same time, I like how Pippen handled it. But I think what Richard Jefferson was trying to say is Giannis need another guy. And maybe Giannis is not that guy to lead a team to a championship just yet. He needs help. He needs help like everyone else. I don't like how he referenced Pippen.
Just say that, they need another star player.
I don't
they
like
need
how
another go-to guy.
Right.
That's
agree.
what you say.
I don't like
say,
when
he's just a Pippen.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And like you said, shout out to Pippen for standing up and saying, man, what are you talking about, buddy?
Right. So, yeah.
And Jay Will said, well, LeBron was a Pippen. Why are you bringing LeBron into this?
Yeah, LeBron.
That was like Jay Williams said that. LeBron said the same thing. Man, what I got to do with that, man?
Right. All right, man. That concludes Quick Hits. That concludes Stop It. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to talk some NBA playoffs. You don't want to miss it.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Hey, what's up? This is Aaron Gordon, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. So, we're here to talk NBA. Man, so first, the series they're getting good. It's now we're starting to see playoff basketball. We're starting to see teams that might not be ready for playoff basketball, but you know the games are 98 to 81, 101 to 90. Real scores. It's not the 158 to 149 scores. You know, so this is good. Before we get into even this playoff, man, that Utah series, I hated to see the way hated the way that Donovan Mitchell had to go out in that series by losing the ball. But do you think that will get him to where it kind of reminded me? I know it wasn't the finals, but you remember when you saw that image of Isaiah crying in the finals, but he was hurt, so that's why he was crying. But still, but then they came back to win it next year. Do you think he comes back with the mindset of I'm ready to kill the league?
Yeah, I definitely think he got that mindset, and he has that mindset anyway. But even with them, right, like they didn't even have their whole team, and that's nothing to take away from Denver because Gary Harris hadn't really played. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think Utah is definitely going to come back ready to get to it, and Donovan Mitchell is on a mission. He showed, again, he spoke on it. He said, this is only a glimpse of what I am or what I'm going to be. You know what I mean? So I definitely think he's going to come out and do his thing.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining series, but I don't know if it took a lot out of Denver. I don't know if Denver's ready for Clippers. But before we get into that, is Miami this good? Let's start off with that.
Yes. I think we said it from the beginning. Miami is a gritty defensive team, and they have a lot of playmakers. You know what I mean? Like when Jimmy scored in the first game, when Jimmy scored that 40, one point that he put out, he said, next game it might be this person. It might be Bam. It might be Rodgers. It might be this person. Because he know that it may not have to be him every night. He just need to do certain things.
Right.
And that's what they've shown.
Yeah, because the way this is a Pat Riley type of team. It's funny because, we see the Lakers when Pat Riley was there. Lakers, he inherited this real, it's fast. Let's go. We what would it call a lake show, and just fast break all the time was good. But they were a tough minded mentally. They was a tough team as far as just tough, But they didn't play great defense or anything like that. But we saw what Pat Riley really was who he really is when he went to New York. The Knicks, they were the gritty, grimy. We're gonna show you how to win. We're gonna win like this type of team. Pat had no help, but still, I'm talking about Patrick Ewing, he had no help, but they were still always close to the end. Goes to Miami, same type of team. With Zoe, Tim Hardaway, the gritty and all of that. Now, you look at this Miami team, it fits. And with Jimmy Butler, he's a Pat Riley type of guy. That's definitely Pat Riley. But they have scores, but then they have basketball players that could play. Like Iguodala is a great pick. Crowder is shocking me. I didn't think he would be this good. And Jay Crowder is doing everything they need him to be, that 3D guy. They just have and first of all, I gotta talk about the point guard. His name just slipped my mind. The point guard
for Miami?
Yeah.
Dragic
is balling. And like he get to the hole anytime he wants. And he always make the right play. But everybody compliments each other. Everybody believes in each other. Man.
That's all to include here. This has clearly been a bad matchup for Milwaukee. I saw in one of their first early in the season before the bubble that Miami could cause problems because of just how their team is made up. They have a guy, Giannis is for the most part unguardable, but if you have a guy who is strong enough, quick enough, and has the size like Bam Adebayo, he can frustrate Giannis into, some turnovers, into some bad shots, and then have him guessing to where Giannis can't just, he can't just go downhill like he normally does. And then they also have
anybody on their team.
Right. And he can guard anybody on the floor. And then you also have guys like Crowder and Jimmy Butler and Iguodala who are strong enough to handle Giannis. Even if he can get a shot up over them, but if you're keeping him out of the paint or being physical with him to where he takes little jump shots instead of dunks, then, that definitely changes how Milwaukee operates offensively.
Here's even something that I paid attention, right? Milwaukee has no playmakers outside of Giannis, right? Every basket that how many baskets do Giannis get that are assisted baskets? he don't get many assisted baskets or even per se easy baskets. They may be easy baskets for Giannis, right? But are they really easy baskets? He don't get enough of those.
So let me ask you this then, since we're on the subject of Giannis. So are we blaming Giannis? Does he deserve the blame, or is for Milwaukee play, or is it more to it?
I don't think he's doing everything. Last night, I actually think he was hurt. He looked like something wasn't right.
He is hurt. He has some kind of ankle injury right now.
Right. I think it happened early in and I think it made it worse early in the game when something happened with his ankle.
I thought that was fourth quarter when he did that. I missed the first part, but I saw fourth quarter when he got hurt.
It was. You saw when he made that dunk and he grinched, he splinched. That was from the first quarter.
Right.
So he looked bad. So I don't blame this on Giannis. He's doing everything he can. But so another thing that I saw and I was watching is that
was his ankle hurt?
There is no movement on offense.
Yes, none at all.
Miami's defense literally is standing in one spot, setting a wall.
Well,
because there's
that's what
no
Toronto
movement.
did last year.
But it's the blueprint of what Toronto did. Yeah, we saw this in Toronto. But let me ask you this real quick. So, because we got to move on, who do you blame?
Coaching and players.
Yeah, it's the makeup. It's the makeup of Milwaukee
of the team. Yeah.
Because, like you said, they don't have guys that can. I mean, Middleton can get his own shot, and you can run plays for him, but he's.
You can't win with him being your number two.
But you gotta have more than just that. You gotta have more than that. And the way that Giannis has been defended, I saw someone break it down to where there was I think it was game 1 where he was just like setting screens and dribble handoffs. And it's like, is he playing? He's playing like a backup center from the 90s.
Yep.
And he's not really being involved in the offense. So it's the makeup of the team. I think, the guards that they have, because Giannis can handle the ball, the guards that they have around him aren't they're more like, spot up shooters or cutters. They're not ones that like run the offense and, set plays and tell everyone where to go.
So, all right, now let's move on to the Denver Clippers series. I know it was one game. Do you think that was more of they came from that exhausting series with Utah and let's wait to see what they're going to do, or is it like it's a wrap?
No, because I think that they would use that energy, right? They would use that energy that they just went through that series with. I think what we're seeing is a peak Clippers team.
Is that true?
So when they lost to Dallas, when Luka went off, right, with that long bomb 3. Okay, Luka hit that, right? But in reality, that should have been in one game. But and I think what happened is they let their guard down because Porzingis wasn't there. They kind of was up 20. They like, we good. Then Dallas got the energy and they did what they did. But beyond that, we're seeing what the Clippers should have been, right? And that's what's happening.
Well, but you know what? I still think that I want to see game 2. I think they're overmatched, but I want to see game 2 because that takes a lot out of you. Game 7, it comes down to the end, and I will get to the Houston later, but that series was every game was like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm going to say something that Shaq said. He said they didn't have to hop on no plane. They walked over that grassy knoll and went to the hotel and relaxed. It was so funny, They walked over that grassy knoll.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going through what you usually have to go through, and that's nothing to take away from them.
But I'm saying, I'm thinking mentally though, as far as, and I don't think they were prepared because this is a different series now. It's not the same type of energy as you playing with Utah. It's not. Go ahead.
Well, it was a quick turnaround because that game 7 was on Tuesday. They got game 1 on Thursday. I mean, it can happen. I mean, whether you traveled or not,
baby.
But whether you traveled or not, it's just being prepared.
But
I think they were just underprepared.
But Houston
to play.
And Houston didn't go through a series like that with Utah. That series, with Houston and OKC, every game was either this team won except for game 4.
It's still
game
with 7 games.
No, it's not. It's a different game. It's different.
I think it's a preparation thing. I think Denver was just not really prepared
mentally
for the Clippers.
That's what I'm saying.
And when we talk about this other game, I think the Rockets they're just going to do what they do.
But think
and
about
the Lakers weren't prepared.
But think about
Here's another thing.
Here's
another thing. I think Denver is still early. We wasn't expecting Denver to be there last year. And this year we were expecting them because they were there last year. I think they still are learning.
I mean, true, but what I'm saying is every game came down to the end. I'm talking about hustling, running. That can mentally exhaust you. And that's all I'm saying with that. Where Houston, every game wasn't like that with Houston in the OKC series. They were just shooting threes. Houston just shot threes, whatever. But
again, this is going to be a learning experience.
Yeah, it's going to be.
They're probably going to get swept or 5 games.
Right. I'm not arguing that. Now with the Raptors, they hit that game-winning shot. Do you think they bounce back in Game 3?
I think that
Game 4.
We know that Tatum had a bad game, right? And Stevens can say he called a bad play. But I think that you needed to go up 3-0 instead of 2-1 because now it gives a champion a fighting chance, right?
Right.
Now in boxing, they say you gave a champion a fighting shot. That's what you gave them now.
Right.
There is no home court advantage. Being down 2-1 is different than being down 2-1 if you were out in the world, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Being down 2-1, all they need to do is win a couple games. You know what I mean? Like this is a different ball game, baby. We ain't taking all these days off. We playing every other day.
I just think with Toronto, they have to find scoring. Like scoring has, I think it's Van Fleet because Siakam, be nice, but I don't know if he's that guy down the stretch that can get those points that you need in the fourth quarter, like Kawhi did last year, or like a Jason Tatum.
And I think that's why people don't think they can beat Boston, because Boston has not only one to go through late in the fourth quarter, they have 3, maybe 4 based on what Marcus Smart did the other day, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like they can give the ball to a few people. In Toronto, it's a collaborative effort other than Siakam. But do you trust Siakam with 7 seconds left?
Right. So do you think, you believe they bounce back? They win Game 4.
I think that this is going to be a good series.
Okay.
I think that Boston may go up 3-1, but then I think Toronto comes back to make it 3-2 and make it more of an interesting series.
And then, just for the fact that they're playing at home, so that they have the home court advantage. Oh, I forgot.
You mean the digital logo on the court that says Raptors? Is that what we're talking about?
Right. They're at home. So, but no.
Well, actually,
no, they was in Boston, right?
Yeah, this is in Boston.
They was in Boston. Well, they went it on the road. So, but no. But the game last night, though, y'all, Houston, L.A.
I think it was a letdown by L.A. Not expecting Houston to do this, right? And Houston came out and ran they behind up and down the court. However, this is what I do want to say. Lakers, you better not play with Houston and think that you can just turn it on. Because if your bench don't do nothing, like they haven't been doing, because remember, only time the Lakers has been winning when they bench has shown up, right? KCP, Danny Green. If you see Danny Green hit a shot, then Lakers probably going to win. Like at any point during the game, if Danny Green hit a few in a row,
right,
the Lakers probably on. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happened. But when you also look at Houston, it was all, Eric Gordon, Westbrook, and James Harden?
No, all of them. Tucker hit some big shots. No, they were all playing. Even
Tucker had
Rivers.
6 points. I'm not talking about the shots. I'm talking about just overall. Tucker had 6, Covington had 6, Westbrook had 24, Gordon had 23, Harden had 36.
River played well when he came in.
Rivers had 10. Nobody else in double figures. And that's what I'm saying. Like, other people, nobody else other than Davis and James and Danny Green had 10.
But
Caruso ball, but that's what I'm saying.
The Lakers have struggled on offense like ever since they.
No, we're gonna tell the truth. They have.
They have the lowest scoring offense in the bubble.
No, but I'm saying we're gonna tell it like it is. If them dudes don't stop playing like, I gotta watch my language. If they don't stop playing like some punks, like bruh, how in the world you 7 foot and you have a 6'5" guard on you and you shooting fadeaways from 15 feet out? What are you doing, AD? What are you doing?
JaVale McGee guard playing center.
JaVale McGee out there with 4 points when he's supposed to get all the rebounds.
That's the thing. That's how Houston plays. Though they have to. You have to
take him out.
You have. They will play Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee off the floor.
No, I get that, and I'm saying if you're AD and you're LeBron, you should be post up every. Come on, dog. People talk about me get off my lawn, but let's be real. I know we gotta go, but let's be real. If somebody's guarding me, if I'm 6'1", I wish I was, but if I'm 6'1" and I got a 5'8" guarding me, bruh, I'm posting up every time.
Marquise Morris can't have 0 points. His brother out there balling and for the Clippers.
But
Marquise can't have no points, bro.
He can have 0 points if AD scores 65 points, which he should be doing when you got a 6'5" guard that's not known for defense guarding you. And you shooting fadeaway jumpers
Steven
from
Adams should have been scoring 40 points, but it didn't happen.
But Steven, right. But Steven Adams is not an offensive guy. AD is an offensive guy.
I agree.
Come on, dog. That made me so mad. Anyway, all right, let me calm down. But you know what? That's Houston too. Houston. That's why I said with this series it's going to depend because what Houston is able to do, they're able to lure you into playing their type of game, and that's what LA did. All right, we're going to take.
And you know what teams do that beat them? Don't play their type of game. They play their game.
Right. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. We have more sports ahead. Keep it locked.
Or just 6. The staff here at Real 1100 AM would like to encourage you to social distance yourselves. While you may feel disconnected, you can always connect with us at real1100.com. So remain at a safe distance. Call, text, or email a friend and tell them to join you at real1100.com.
Happy Saturday, sports fans. It's your boy Sherm, a.k.a. the Lord of the Beats, and you are currently inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man's Mr. Controversy, D Intellectual, and of course my dog G behind the boards. Cheers to the freaking weekend.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And baseball, Major League Baseball. Like I said, we're in the thick of things when it comes to sports. And we're talking Major League Baseball. We have another guest. And we're truly honored to have the 3-Point Conversion MLB analyst, Mr. Cortland Griffin. What's going on, Cortland?
Not much, man.
You good? You talking like we on the phone. Not much, man.
Not much.
All you said was not much, man.
Right.
That's it.
All right, man. So let's start first. We just had a trade deadline, and if you all can go to the 3pointconversion.com, check out Cortland's article. He talks about the trade deadline and the winners and losers of that. But we just want to, if you give us just a snippet, who were your winners? Give us a few winners and then why.
Well, coming into the trade deadline, one of the big teams that I had was the San Diego Padres, being I think they are the winner of the trade deadline, for the simple fact, when you look at who they added without losing much, you add starting pitcher Clevenger from the Indians. He's a ringer. He had some issues in Cleveland, but those will be righted once he gets to San Diego. And he's one of those guys that once he gets on the roll, it once it rains, it pours with him, and you'll get strikeout after strikeout. And he knows how to control his pitches. He knows how to get big hitters out of the game. So that was a big pickup for them because they already had good pitching. So you get him, and then you add the first baseman from the Red Sox and Mitch Moreland, who's a big time hitter, to that batting rotation with Tatis Jr. and those guys. It's Manny Machado. Those guys. It's the Padres are going to be the favorite to win the World Series at this point in time.
Oh, wow.
Not to you don't think they gave up a nice amount of their farm system to get Clevenger?
Not really. Because if you look at, they didn't really touch their core players. They didn't touch any of the guys that are contributing to the success right now. Now, if they had given up the farm to get Clevenger, then that'd have been a different story. But they didn't touch any of their rotation in the bullpen, and they really didn't touch any of their batters or give up any top prospects or anything. So this team is still intact. This team is still playing with the chemistry that they had going into the trade deadline. And then you add to at their best, they're two of the best at their positions, and you add that to that already strong team in a shortened season, you got a team that's primed to be a favorite.
So they did win now and still comfortable for the future.
Right. Because going into next year, this team doesn't. I don't see this team losing any momentum with this being a short season, and you're possibly going to go right into next season. They didn't really lose anything. They're not going to lose much momentum.
Okay. Did you have any losers, and also who made bad trades? Do you feel?
I have one really big loser. That was the Mets to me. And if we have any Mets fans listening, don't take this as a personal jab. But I think the Mets made a trade based on their fans. You got Todd Frazier back from the Rangers when he's not batting. You rescue the Rangers. You put your cape on, and you rescue the Rangers from a bad player. You're half of the season in, and Todd Frazier's he wasn't hitting well. He's not playing well. He looks old. And you go and you say, because we are the Mets and because we have sympathy for former players, we're going to go and trade back for them. Why? That's the big question. Why? Does he make your team better? Does he make you a playoff contender? Does he get you over the hump? No. He's just a guy who the Mets fans loved last year. Last year he played well. This year he didn't. He's two different guys. And you got the worst. You got the worst of those two different guys.
Is he even batting 200 this year?
No, that's the thing. He's batting sub 200. And if you're a hitter, and just take it from, I played shortstop in college, and even in college and high school, if you're batting sub 200, you're not getting on the field. You're not touching the
field.
So that's a bad trade in itself. And then another. And
it's different when he was batting 215, hitting 30 home runs. That was different. Now he's batting sub 200, not even hitting.
Right, and that's in a full season. This is a shortened season, so you have to think about batting sub 200 in a shortened season where you have to make a push. This is like you didn't start. This is not like the NBA where they had basically played more than 2/3 of the season. Then you come back and play in the bubble and play 8 seeding games. This is the MLB where now you're playing in the time 60 games. That's when teams are making their playoff push. This is like the December to February, or the February to like March or May for the NBA, for the MLB. So when you're making that playoff push, when you're trying to, that trade deadline means a lot more when you're trying to get players to make you a championship contender. And so when you're trying to become a championship contender, which the Mets are not a bad team this year per se, but they're not a team that you're going to like mark on your calendar and say we have to beat these guys. So Todd Frazier didn't make them that, and Todd Frazier is not going to make them that. And if they don't find someone soon, whether it be a prospect, whether it be a younger guy or somebody in that batting rotation steps up and says, okay, we're going to take on the batting load for these next 20 games left or 20 to 15 games left, then it's not going to amount to anything, and they're going to find themselves still being the second team in New York and not having much.
All right. And so basically he's saying that Todd Frazier's garbage. But all right. So
without saying it, yeah.
No, you can say it. You can say it.
Yeah, we tell the truth and shame the devil on this show. No, but all right. So the Atlanta Braves, we're here in Atlanta. They've won 5 in a row. Do you think they have enough to make a deep run?
Well, when we're talking about deep runs, if we're saying from a personnel standpoint, no. There's not enough big-time sluggers that can get you instant pinch offense on the Atlanta Braves right now. Outside of Marcell Ozuna, who has 12 home runs, your next top hitter is 8. He has 8. No one else on the team has above 8 or above 6, actually. So you're looking at a team that's going to struggle in the playoffs when you're facing pitchers, because that's when in the playoffs is when teams they run like a 3-man rotation. Some teams run a 2-man rotation depending on how deep their bullpen goes, and you may run a reliever or 2. So a 5-man rotation, you're going to get pitchers that are warm, and guys that are going to go on streaks, and guys that know how to control pitches, guys that are going to see you for more than 1 or 2 games or more than a 3-game or 4-game series. And when you're talking about that, you have to have guys that you can go out and say, okay, I need a home run at the bottom of the 5th. It's a 3-1 count. I need a home run. Bases are loaded. I need an RBI, or I need that grand slam. You got to have those guys. And I don't see anyone on this Atlanta Braves team that gives you that. And
not even Acuna?
No, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Acuna is their second leader in home runs, but he only has 8. And when you look at his batting average, he's a very good batter. If I'm asking for an RBI, sure, he'll give you that. But if I say, okay, Ozuna is on 3rd or Ozuna's on 2nd, you know what I'm saying, and I need you to go out here and I need you to not only hit a home run and get him home, but I need you home because we're down by 2 and we can make this a game.
He's not.
Can I trust him to do that? No. Now if I need a grounder to left field, for sure. Wow. He'll give me that. Okay. And then if we're talking about pitching, the Braves, that could be an Achilles heel for them because they're not the best. They're like middle of the pack. And so again, when you're talking about playing in the playoffs, you got to have guys that are going to hit that streak and can and get those strikeouts in bunches. And I don't see them having that either. Now they're not a bad team. So if we're talking about just a whole, can they make a run? Sure. This is a pandemic shortened season. It's up in the air. Any team can make a run. This is the one season where the MLB is wide open. So any team can make a run. But as far as personnel goes and the way the momentum of the season is swinging, I don't see the Braves making a deep run. Maybe first round. And of the division leaders, I don't see them being the best division leader.
Well, we're I wish we could talk more baseball because this was very enlightening.
Let me ask you this real quick. I want to get another baseball through your point on it. What if somebody bat 400?
Oh man!
You said what? Wait, what? What was the question?
Will somebody bat 400?
Oh, this year? So if 30 seconds, Cortland. Yeah. Do you think that?
Are you asking will somebody bat 400?
No, I'm saying what if somebody bat 400?
For who?
Oh,
what do you mean? For the Braves?
No, for anybody.
Oh,
if they hit 400 for the season.
Oh, then good. Kudos to him. But if they don't win the World Series, what does it matter?
No, I mean, do you respect it? Because I wouldn't respect it. It's 60 games.
Oh yeah, no, it's a definitely.
Oh, okay, that's why I'm like, I was just like, huh?
That's okay. Context is key. If someone bats 400 this year, it's kind of like a guy having a sub 2 ERA this year. you going in, that's an asterisk already. It's
right.
You know, it's all because this is a shortened season. So now guys are going to hit, their streaks maybe. Guys are going to kind of hit their mid-season form maybe coming up these next batch of games. So if a guy hits 400 and he comes up and does that, great. I up in the air on that, but it's definitely an asterisk next to that. You can't really like come into the next season and say this guy was the best hitter in MLB.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. Cortland, once again, Cortland Griffin, the 3-point conversion MLB analyst and writer / reporter. Check his work out on the 3pointconversion.com. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And, of course, we got family in the building. We got Dr. Donnie Fowler III. What's going on, Doc?
Not much. Hanging out, holiday weekend, not on call. Good time.
You barbecuing, Doc?
I got a buddy, grilling tonight. Going to do a little barbecue, probably some Kentucky Derby in the background. So
I thought you were about to say probably some Kentucky Fried Chicken. I was like, what? See, this whole Kentucky Derby, I'm throwing off with everything in sports right now. I thought that was going to happen in July. But
I wanted to go this year to the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's fun. It'd be.
No, I ain't talking about because of that. Okay, go ahead now. I'm saying.
I'm talking about not. No, that's
that's what I'm saying. All right, Doc. So I wanted to ask you. Alex Smith made the 53-man roster for the Washington football team. Congrats. We definitely happy for him. Should he have any concerns if he does get hurt again? Like, it was a noticeable limp, when they said he was released from the PUP list, the PUP list, but then he had like a limp. But he's been playing, throughout practice or whatever. But is it any concerns that if he gets hurt, like, it could be rap or even, God forbid, deadly?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone, this is hopefully going to be a feel-good story. I think it's one of those things, everyone's amazed that he came this far. I'm glad I'll say Washington football team, make sure I get it right, is keeping him around. They had to pay him $16 million guaranteed anyway, and they got enough controversy going on. So if you cut the guy that came back from a open fracture and 17 surgeries who you already got to pay, then that's going to look even worse. So I think he wants to be out there. Obviously, he would have done and gone through all the surgeries and rehab if that was the case. I mean, he has a metal rod in his leg, so that bone should be stronger in a way, if that makes sense, than it was before. It's pretty hard to snap a titanium rod once it's inside your bone. Kind of like, Paul George, Gordon Hayward, some of the NBA guys that had a similar injury, not as severe with the complications afterwards. So I think it's house money at this point. They're going to have him there. I don't think he's going to play, significant actual game time, but he's going to be there mentoring. If he gets banged up a little bit, it happens, but I don't think he's going to be playing meaningful snaps, but it's a good story for him to be out there.
Absolutely. I definitely got to agree. Glad to see him out there and even have an opportunity to play. Now, Houston Astros, Jose Altuve is dealing with a right knee sprain. It's the same knee he had surgery on in 2018. Is there a need to be concerned?
I probably wouldn't be too concerned at this point. I watched the play. Kind of looks like, Cleats got stuff going on for a slide, and they did an MRI scan, and they did not, between the fact that they already did an MRI scan and they did not put him on the injured list, I think is a good sign, basically saying he's probably out for the weekend, but he's day-to-day. So they have an MRI confirming there's no obvious structural damage, and apparently it's not bad enough that they think they need to put him on a 10-day injury list. So certainly anytime a guy gets hurt, especially something that's been operated on, you're going to keep a close eye on it. But it sounds like this is just kind of hopefully a coincidental thing and won't be anything long-term.
All right, and in Hap, he got hit and he fired a foul ball and got hit in the eye, bounced off and hit him in the eye, around the eye, and kind of bruised his eye. But right now he says he doesn't have any blurred vision. So with that being said, do you put, does he go like get the playoff face shield for the NBA and wear that? or is it does he have to just sit out until it, they're like, all right, we trust it? Or get one of those helmets, how they had the helmets that cover it, but that doesn't cover his eyes, just cover the cheek, cheekbones, whatever.
Jaw, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously, your eye is it's a very serious thing in general and important. It was kind of one of those freak plays. If you watch it, glad it sounds like it wasn't worse. Again, a situation where they're not putting him on the IL and ran a bunch of tests and said he's day-to-day and possibly even available off the bench depending on how he feels. So I think it's really more just kind of like you were alluding to, if the vision is clear, if he's not having other things like some light sensitivity, sometimes your eyes even still kind of swollen and a little watery. So you just want to make sure that he feels comfortable up there, not only physically, but mentally too. You take a ball in the face, you certainly want to make sure mentally you feel comfortable and ready being up at the plate again. So I think it's fine for him to get that out there, certainly when he's ready, but no need to rush. I'd be surprised if we saw him back today, but hopefully by early next week.
Well, all right, Doc, we definitely appreciate you, man. You can stay here real quick. I want to ask the fellas before we go. D, what are your Super Bowl picks?
Super Bowl picks. Super Bowl picks.
Do I need to go first, or is someone else going?
No, I'm asking D first. We're about to ask you in a second. I'm asking
the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm being biased, man. My Bears going to the Super Bowl.
So we just gonna be biased?
I just knew you was going ahead. I thought he was about to give it a stop it.
No, I don't care.
No, I thought G was when G looked. I thought he was like.
Oh, it's not too late.
Stop it. Oh, that's messed up. Go ahead, Dr. Fowler.
I just want to make sure you did just say the Bears, who announced that Trubisky is still their quarterback, correct?
Can you cut Dr. Fowler off now? Do I come and talk about Duke? No, yeah, I do. So my bad. Go ahead. No, it's the best with you.
No, it's you know what I like trying to I don't know, pick something that's a little more. I mean, still a good chance, but I never like picking the favorite. I agree that the Chiefs are probably the favorite. I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, hoping that maybe they get the playoff football thing right, because we've seen it in the regular season. And I'm gonna put them up against the 49ers. I think that they obviously have one of the best defenses out there. They have a good offensive-minded coach, and so I'm going Ravens 49ers.
Good pick.
I think through some shenanigans and some things will finally go their way this year, I'm going to pick the Saints and the Chiefs, but I'm picking the Chiefs to repeat.
You know what? I'm going to go Baltimore. I'm going to say Baltimore, and I want everybody, you know what? I want the Bears to make it. I don't think we get in I think we close. I don't think we get in. I want to say Baltimore and it's between Seattle and Tampa. I'm gonna go Tampa. I believe in Tom Brady, so I'm gonna say Tampa Bay. So that'll be it. I think Baltimore probably win it because he can't beat Lamar Jackson. So some reasons, but all right, there you have it, man. But let me ask you this before we do our rundown. Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised if any other team made it besides the Chiefs or Baltimore?
Yeah, because if I'm not picking the Chiefs, I'm picking Baltimore to come out of the AFC. and but I just kind of want to go with the, not to say the surefire, but you know what I'm saying? Like the Chiefs, nobody has touched the Chiefs. I think they got over the hurdle last year, but other than the Chiefs and the Ravens, who do you really expect? Because anybody else, you would think an NFC defense is going to beat them up.
Right. I think San Fran can get back up there too. I mean, I think people still need to watch out, and this is how he gets his money. Maybe Dallas. I think Dallas might get there, just because I like the coach. I mean, I used to hate him when he was in Green Bay, but I do like McCarthy. He's the right man for that offense. If Jerry let that man coach,
the NFC more open than the AFC.
You said what?
The NFC is open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anybody can, like Dallas can become that team. You know what I mean?
Right. But I really believe that the Dallas, you know, with him coaching, I think they get that team right, and Gregory doesn't get suspended again. You know, with Lawrence and everybody, that Sean Lee is on the shelf again, so this seems right. I mean, not that he's hurt, but this normally happens. You know, his name can get right.
Oh, he not hurt?
He is hurt.
Oh,
he's on IR again.
That's normal.
So that's why I said everything's looking normal for them, and I think they get in. So, well, all right, it is time. When you hear this certain music, it means it is time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have a couple of shout-outs. And stay a part of them because you might be part of it. You might be one of them. First, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, to, just be able to make people upset, mad, happy, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate you. Also, I want to thank all my guests. I want to thank Karita Parks. I want to thank Vincent, the Fantasy Guru. I want to thank Cortland Griffin. I want to thank our family, Dr. Donnie Fowler III. I want to thank our sponsors, Ortho Atlanta. Of course, I want to thank the guy that runs everything, In and Out G. And I want to thank my road dog, D Intellectual.
Definitely shout out to all our friends and families that always listen, pay attention to us, and always being a part of this. I want to say we still need to arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. All the injustices that's continuously happening, because every week that we come on here, something else is happening during that week. We just found out about someone else being murdered, and I think it was
Rochester.
I can't remember where it is.
Was it Rochester? No. Was it Minneapolis? Minneapolis.
It was somewhere, but it was a black dude murdered in April, even before George Floyd.
Right. Yeah. Minneapolis.
He was murdered, so I want to definitely give a highlight to that, and those things need to stop, and we're going to continually talk about it as long as we have a platform. And thank everybody for always listening.
All right, I want to thank my lovely family, my beautiful wife, children, aunties, uncles, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, nieces and nephews, my parents, and also love family. Let family know that you love them while they're still alive. Love on them. And stay safe during this holiday weekend. I forgot it was a holiday, but stay safe on this holiday weekend. Eat good. Do right. Exercise. Enjoy sports until then. Next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace. You just got done listening to the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at The 3 Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Hadouken!